Determining Racial Affiliation in Germany, 1940. The pioneer of the automobile radio was Alfred Greb, who had to install a large antenna shaped like a clothes dryer on the bumpers around 1919. A Boston police officer pulls his four-legged partner, Fritz, out of a construction pit, Massachusetts, 1989. 1935. Engineers and laborers on a pipeline segment over the canyon at the Hoover Dam construction site. There are no safety ropes or helmets, only suits, hats, and a stoic look for the camera. Gargoyles on the facades of Gothic churches are usually positioned so that rainwater flows from the roofs through their mouths. However, one of the gargoyles at Freiburg Minster is holding onto the wall with its hands and feet, and water pours out of its backside. According to a city legend, during the construction of the cathedral, the city council raised the requirements for the stonemasons without increasing their pay. The stonemasons completed the work, but placed this defecating sculpture opposite the city council's windows. Children, prisoners of Auschwitz. Concentration camp, show their camp. Numbers tattooed on their arms, Poland, 1945. A prisoner from the American Sing Sing prison undergoes Chinese water torture, 1860. The director of the Belgrade Zoo persuades a runaway chimpanzee named Sammy to return to the zoo, 1988. A young white child touches the shield of a black police officer during a Ku Klux Klan rally in Gainesville, Georgia, 1992. India vaulted from the Middle Ages into the future thanks to the USSR. In 1981, India successfully launched its first satellite from its own soil, but because of a lack of specialized vehicles, the rocket and satellite components had to be transported on bullock carts. Ambulance, Italy, 1894. Sea lions are beaten to death with sticks on St. Paul Island, Alaska, 1895. Just a normal bus ride in Tirana, Albania, 1992. Responsibility for their work, testing a bridge over the Ob River. Engineers and builders stand under the bridge. Russian Empire, 1893. Women cannibals, USSR, 1920s. During World War II, Germans built a fake airfield in occupied Holland to divert attention. All structures and equipment were made from wood and plywood. Construction was carried out in the strictest secrecy until a British bomber flew over the fake airfield and dropped a wooden bomb on it. It's unknown if the Germans appreciated British humor, but they got the hint. The construction was halted. Among the first 15 Roman emperors, only Claudius did not have love affairs with men. This was considered unusual behavior and ridiculed by poets and writers who said that loving only women made Claudius effeminate. A protester against the Vietnam War places a carnation into the barrel of a soldier's rifle aimed at peaceful people, 1967. A crowd attempts to overturn a car carrying a black family during race riots. USA, 1956. A man who lost all his money in the stock market sells his Chrysler for $100. USA, 1929. 1960s hairstyles on American women. Crime reporter Vlado Teneski reported on serial murders in Macedonia, crimes he had actually committed. Police caught him because he published details only the killer would know. After DNA confirmed his guilt, he was found dead in his cell, his head in a bucket of water. Anal plugs were originally sold as miraculous remedies for headaches, pimples, and mental disorders. During Prohibition, the Chicago police dumped tons of corn whiskey after raiding an illegal distillery. In the 18th century, ladies carried a vinaigrette, a case with ammonia acetic mixture or dry-smelling salts. Due to corsets, they often fainted, and a few breaths from the vinaigrette helped them quickly recover. Women gathering firewood, Russian Empire, 1913. German POWs watching a Holocaust film, 1945. In the 13th century near Paris, the giant gallows of Montfaucon were built, which have not survived to this day. Executions for 50 people could be carried out there simultaneously. At Captured Moth, New York, 1986. Brigitte Bardot became one of the brightest female icons of the 20th century, and at the World's Fair in the Vatican Pavilion, her photo was displayed as a symbol of sin. A Ukrainian immigrant establishment in New York offering free borscht to celebrate Stalin's death, March 6, 1953. Unlicensed prostitutes caught by the police at the famous fair, Russia, 1900s. A decoy artillery position set up by the Germans during the defense of Tsingtao, 1914. Strange, but apparently such methods actually worked. Police removed bodies from the Amityville house. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo killed his father, mother, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters. This story later became the basis for many horror books and films. The ship Queen Elizabeth arrives at the New York harbor. On board are soldiers returning from World War II, 1945. In the Greek theater, there was a special position, a rabdouche, whose duty was to beat overly rowdy spectators with a stick. Would you take such a job? During the Battle of Stalingrad in 1942, the average life expectancy of a soldier on the front line was only 24 hours. A Red Cross nurse records the last words of a British soldier, World War I, 1917. Motorized baby carriage, 1922. No seatbelts or helmets. A eunuch guarding a harem, Tunisia, 1931. An ancient Greek torture involved a copper or brass bull with a hollow interior. The victim's terrible screams were amplified by the iron structure and sounded like the bull's roar. One of the wealthiest people in the world, Jeff Bezos, at the beginning of his career, 1999. In 1958, China declared war on sparrows. Millions of birds were exhausted to death. The result? A catastrophic famine the following year. With no birds to eat the caterpillars, the pests devoured all the crops. Brigitte Bardot, the sex symbol of the 60s, but beauty does not last forever. Thieves attack a store in the commercial area of Caledonia, Panama City, during the U.S. invasion of Panama, 1989. Confederate Army Captain Samuel Richardson in fashionable pants, 1860s. Animal experiments to determine the effects of being upside down for long periods in a NASA laboratory, USA, 1958. A Jewish family from Germany is deported from London for invalid papers, 1939. The inscription on the reverse side reads, "Sent to Hamburg." Incidentally, 4 years later, That city would be destroyed by British bombing. A watch raised from the Titanic. It stopped at 2:28, 2 minutes after the crash. USA. Photo from 1985. Winston Churchill talks on the first portable radio, Fort Jackson, 1942. Ma Barker, the mother of all American gangsters, organized the Barker Gang. She was killed along with her son Fred in a fierce hours-long shootout with FBI agents who surrounded her home in 1935. Mexicans and Americans playing volleyball over the border fence. Naco, Arizona, 1979. Drying polar bear skins. Northern Earth, 1930. Scouts from Rockaway Camp grow beards in support of Fidel Castro's revolution in Cuba, New Jersey, 1963. Model for the Statue of Liberty, 36-year-old Isabel Boyer. The first day of war. Soviet civilians in Moscow listened to the radio announcement that Germany has invaded the Soviet Union, 22nd June 1941. Corporal Shoichi Yokoi hid in the jungles of Guam after Japan's surrender in 1945 and lived there for 28 years. He was found by shrimp fishermen in 1972. His first words upon returning: "It is with much embarrassment that I return alive." Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau carries his future successor, Justin Trudeau, under his arm. Ottawa, 1973. East German soldier helps a little boy sneak across the Berlin Wall, 1961. Vietnamese child and his father accused of aiding North Vietnamese partisans, 1966. Their fate remains unknown. Marilyn Lovell, wife of Apollo 13 commander, reads front page news, 1970. Zulu King Cetshwayo aboard the ship that brought him to Cape Town after the defeat of the Zulus, 1879. Public toilet in Paris, France, 1875. These are Buchenwald concentration camp guards, captured by prisoners during the final days of World War II. We all know what became of them: long, horrific torture and suffering. Germany, 1945. Soldiers of the Potomac Army fight over a bottle of wine during the Civil War, Virginia, 1863. Halloween costume variety, 1930s. Jane Mansfield poses with the winner of the Miss Hollywood contest, 1957. Albert Einstein fled Germany from the Nazis and hid in England. He was on the Germans' kill list, which is why he was assigned bodyguards, 1940. A typical wedding during a time of scarcity, USSR, 1963. The next European war will start in Ukraine. A map, published in Look magazine, USA, March 14, 1939. Wives of sailors from the Kursk submarine at the site of the submarine's sinking. Barents Sea, Russia, 2000. Demonstration of the Devil's Wind execution method. This type of execution involved tying the condemned to the muzzle of a cannon and firing a cannonball through their body. Japanese machine gunners in training, 1945. The entire population of the Land of the Rising Sun was being prepared to repel an American invasion of the Japanese islands. Hennessy Cognac Tasters, 1952. A soldier prays amid the ruins of a destroyed temple, Republic of Vietnam, 1972. Men stand in line at the unemployment office hoping to get any work during the Great Depression, 1930. In 1932, a terrible famine occurred in the USSR, taking up to 7 million lives. This was hidden from foreigners with shows of full store shelves, and the 1937 census was classified. German trench digging machine, World War I, 1918. U.S. crisis, 1931. Gangster Al Capone was one of the first to organize food for the poor and homeless during the Great Depression. Photo related to HIV awareness by the CDC Historical Archives that was removed by Trump. Thanks. Franz Reichelt tested his parachute suit by jumping off the Eiffel Tower. It failed. He died instantly on February 4th, 1912. Auschwitz, 1944. German officers and guards have fun, while countless victims are killed and cremated daily in the nearby death camp. Ku Klux Klan members relax on a Ferris wheel in Cannon City, Colorado, 1922. 4-year-old Barack Obama with his grandfather on the beach. Louis and Lola, survivors of the Titanic. A mother reunites with her daughter after 7 months of service in Iraq. A housewife uses money to light her stove during the hyperinflation period in Germany in the 1920s. A school bus on the streets of Taiwan, 1950s. The removal of the bodies of Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun from the bunker, 1945. Louise Bundy, mother of serial killer Ted Bundy, talking on the phone with her son minutes before his execution, 1989. An Orphan's Prayer in an Orphanage, New York, 1947. In a rural hairdresser's in Brittany, 1900. A 19th century gun for hunting waterfowl, capable of killing around 50 birds with one shot. Survivors from the British steamship Titanic disembarking onto the Carpathia, 1912. This shot tells a story that seems like the plot of a movie, but it really happened. Pictured is Joyce McKinney, a former beauty queen and winner of the Miss Wyoming pageant in 1973 after her arrest. In 1977, she kidnapped Mormon missionary Kirk Anderson, handcuffed him, and had sex with him for 3 days. The 19th century extravagance, Walter Rothschild's carriage drawn by zebras. My mental pain is unbearable, the same unresolved question. If my gun took people's lives, then I am guilty of their deaths. This was written in his last letter before his death by Mikhail Kalashnikov, the creator of the legendary AK-47. Mother and child cooking in gas masks. French village, World War I. New York, 1958. Dancers at a nightclub playing chess. Smartphones had not yet been invented. Walter Smith, a bandit, the scourge of the streets. Australia, 1924. Smith didn't like using weapons and killed people with his bare hands, carefully twisting their heads. The criminal case note reads, "Very dangerous, strongly exhibits sadistic tendencies, may bite." Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope these photos impressed you. Some may have made you angry, brought a smile, made you happy, or perhaps even caused some negativity. Feel free to leave your comments and stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Bye.